I'm Julia. This is Grassroots Analytics Insider. Today we're here with Grayson. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Tell us about yourself and how you got to GA.
All right. Well, I'm Grayson. I'm Sagittarius. um, I'm from Southern California, and I have a pit bull. And a fun fact about me is that I used to wake up at like 5 a.m. in elementary school to watch the local news. So I wanted to see what was going on.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Now I wish I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Yeah. Can you tell us about your role on the team?
So I am the digital content director.
Mm-hmm.
My role is specifically focused on content and elevating the content our team pushes out.
Mm-hmm.
Also being the final person to approve all of the content that we push out, whether it be email and text and ads for our DigiLab, our in-house clients, or content that we draft up for our list rental service, and people like coming to us for like different products.
Sure.
Digital products. And I'm also, my responsibility is to train and mentor my junior staff as copywriters and as they grow in their digital career too. And I think basically just making sure that we're pushing out the best content as possible.
Cool. I love that part of your role is teacher. I think that's kind of rare in the industry. It's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, I had a previous role that was not specific like this, but during my career, I was a content specialist, which is where I had where I got so much of my copy editing experience. And here, I'm able to really work even more hands-on with my junior staff by something I do is like live editing. So I'll work directly with somebody and edit their copy and kind of go through that with them.
Right.
So they could, learn and incorporate those edits for future drafts, and also just kind of learn not only the basics of structure, flow, organization of what makes a good fundraising email or text.
Yeah.
But just how you could try different things, or how you could come at different topics at a new angle.
Sure. That's so cool and amazing. Okay, let's dig into content. Content is a term that's used to describe several different things, from videos, content creators, to also newspaper articles and things like that. Can you tell us what content your team creates?
Well, we do fundraising content and non-fundraising too. But specifically, we do everything for digital programs for candidates and nonprofits, and that entails email, text, MMS, SMS, ads, whether it be Meta, Google search ads, and I think those are the three main pillars of that.
Sure.
And then also there's other things that come in between that, writing call time scripts for our candidates who need help with call time, or creating scripts for candidates to do direct to camera asks on different ad platforms.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That is a wide range of content.
Very much so.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how you became a content expert?
The short answer is I've just been doing this for 8 years.
Yeah.
But I think it's just because when I first started working in digital, it was the month leading up to the 2018 midterms.
Okay.
So I kind of got thrown in.
Yeah.
And it was a great boot camp for me to be able to think quickly about what good fundraising content is. And also I had a lot of great teachers then too, who helped me develop and master those basic skills and fundamentals of what is good fundraising content.
Sure.
And then eventually I became a copy editor, which really allowed me to level up my content knowledge and just the way I wrote and kind of digested fundraising copy. Because I think it allowed me to just see more of not just what we're saying, but like how we're saying it
Right.
in fundraising and how we're talking to donors or potential donors. And then I came to GA, where our digital team was about 2 people.
Yeah.
And got thrown in again.
Sure.
And my responsibilities were basically starting digital programs from scratch,
Yeah.
which meant creating organization and candidate voices from scratch too. And that was also a boot camp. So I think it just allowed, like, working on so many different clients, whether it be candidates, leadership packs, nonprofit organizations. I think I've just had, there's so many voices in my head.
Yeah.
That it's allowed me to like really just have an all-encompassing like knowledge of fundraising content, and then they gave me the golden ticket and made me content director.
That's amazing. Cool. It sounds like you've earned it, though. Okay, so we've heard on this podcast from a lot of different experts about how GA uses data to identify the right potential donors, but you're really working on the right message. So can you tell us why delivering the right message to those correct donors is important?
Yeah, so delivering that right message means like you only have so many times to like try to connect with a donor when you reach out before they unsub, opt out.
Sure.
So you want to be able to to basically forming that donor connection equals donor retention. And that's why it's so important to like reach them with the right message, because you want to form that connection up front initially, and that's how you get them into the door. And you can do that so many ways by like leveraging, personal stories, unique experiences to connect with very like specific types of people, and hyper target, and just, I guess, make your message stand out because this person resonates with it.
Yeah, totally. I love that. Okay, so can you give us an example about how content can be built around the unique story of a candidate or cause?
Yeah, so I think having that vulnerability and authenticity when like sharing a personal story is like something that you could like really leverage in fundraising.
Yeah.
And an example would be Joe Mendoza, who is running an AZ06.
Yeah.
I've had the pleasure of working with her campaign over the last like 13 months.
Yeah.
And we've really been able to, like, I mean, she has so many unique experiences.
Sure.
And she's such a really cool, awesome person, but also great candidate and somebody who just has a really unique upbringing that like even I resonate with. We just won a READ Award for the Hellcats use of mobile fundraising in the Southwest. That was the award, and it was for Joe Mendoza's SMS program and how we leveraged this group called the Hellcats, which Joe co-founded along with 3 other veterans. The name basically came from like a group text that they were in, because they all had like a shared thing in common, which was they're all women veterans running in red to blue flip districts.
Sure.
Running with the House blue.
Yeah.
Because all of their districts could really like determine the House majority this cycle.
Yeah.
And then it became this whole thing where like there was CNN news hits. It was viral on social media. I will say like a lot of things that candidates go viral for on social media aren't really transferable, or aren't always transferable to fundraising.
Yeah.
But this definitely was, just because of the level of like, I think just how viral it went, but also how unique it is, because it's not just about the candidates anymore, and that's how like it's about like it's about the mission at hand,
right?
And how like it's basically a coalition that has the same collective goal, and you're trying to get somebody to be a part of it. And it's easier to convince somebody to be a part of it because it's like everybody wants to be a part of a coalition of a part of something bigger than them.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's about women veterans and red to blue candidates flipping the House majority, you could connect to so many different types of donors.
Sure.
Like veterans, people who really care about red to blue districts, people who live in red to blue districts and are like affected by the Republican members of Congress. We are really just able to like push out so much content related to the Hellcats and like leverage that moment and prolong that moment because it still works today.
Yeah. And it's so unique and like so specific to Joe and of course those three other candidates.
Yeah.
And that's really why it got recognized at the Reed Awards.
It stands out and people remember
Yeah.
that too because, you know, people are getting fundraising texts and emails all the time. But to have somebody to be reached out with that level of like authenticity and a unique angle really just helps people stand out.
Absolutely. So cool. How does your content strategy change when you're writing for a fundraising push versus other kinds of engagement?
You kind of have to just change the tone and maybe something's a bit more narrative when you're not doing a direct fundraising push or something is more like, you know, you kind of change like the formatting and the clickability of it all to have people like engage more, whether it be like, hey, what are you looking for? Like, since we're not looking for dollars, if we're not talking money.
Yeah.
You're looking for, I don't know, I want this many responses. I want you to, what do you think? Like, tell me your opinion. Take this poll.
Right.
Take this survey. So but like in a way that's not like conveying the same level of urgency as a fundraising push would.
Amazing. How do you measure the impact of content when you're doing data analysis for a client?
I think testing is a great way to really figure out like what works and what doesn't.
Absolutely.
You know, whether you're testing messaging or you're testing like ask amounts, really, you could kind of find, like once you have a baseline of like what metrics you're looking for, you can fine tune them with testing and, you know, and increase like whatever metric goals you have.
Right. Absolutely. Other podcasts, including Robin, have talked about testing in terms of data and the list and the types of people you're targeting. But this is just another layer on like what you're actually saying to those people.
Yeah. We can test all of the messaging in the world.
Right. What do you think innovation looks like for digital fundraising content?
I think it means taking risks, which is what we love to do at GA here.
Yeah.
And it is about being like not being afraid to like fail or have like a bad result or subpar result because it's all, you know, a learning experience. And also innovation in digital specifically is just always changing because digital has always changed. Like from when I started, like I was purely doing like email fundraising in a very specific tone that a lot of other email programs were doing as well. And now it's like, well, we have SMS and we have all these new types of ad and direct donate engagement on a bunch of different social platforms as well. It's more so like how innovation is more like how can you like foresee the next big thing in digital and like how can you get one step ahead of it. And I think it's just by like trying these new things. Also trying new types of content that you typically don't see from other candidates. I know for Maxwell Frost, who I've worked on his digital program for quite a few years now since he launched his campaign, or since his 2022 primary campaign. And since he was a first Gen Z member of Congress, like there was not a lot of digital programs that like looked like his or sounded like his, in terms of just tone, voice, all of that. And I think we were really able to innovate the content because he's a Gen Z member of Congress, he's so different from other members. So using his like personal stories, but also just like daily experiences, like him like not being able to get an apartment when he first moved to DC, or like you know, having to drive Uber during his campaign. Like I don't think I saw, other than like, you know, AOC talking about, you know, her bartending before or during her run for Congress. That was kind of the only thing I've seen before that. So I think really just that vulnerability that candidates can like put out with their fundraising content is something that that I really would love to see a lot more.
Yeah. And it's like an avenue for someone to be like, oh, I relate to this person.
Totally.
Because I do think a lot of people like our age and younger aren't able to relate to people who are running, who are like very wealthy and have, you know, extensively rich backgrounds. So that was a very cool angle. Yeah. Can you talk about how you lean on a GA pillar in your role as a team leader?
I thought about this for a bit.
Okay.
But I want to say, what is it? Leading with compassion and curiosity.
Yes, lead with curiosity and compassion.
Lead with curiosity and compassion. And I think these are all open to interpretation.
Sure.
I think that, well, from my experience, working in digital for so long and starting out right after college, I know that this is not the easiest industry or job to have. It's super fast paced. It's super related to the news cycle. Working in politics in general is, you know, vibes are not always great.
Yeah.
Especially now. But, you know, you could always still have bring that positivity into the workplace regardless of what's happening outside of it. And there's been like so much burnout. I've been burnt out in digital before. Like my first few years too. And I don't want, you know, my junior staff to kind of go through the same things that like I was when, you know, there were people who were just kind of not compassionate or not empathetic to people's lives outside of work and also within work, just because of how heavy some of the content can be. So I think just fostering a positive work environment for my team is something that I prioritize a lot as a leader. And having compassion and empathy for my teammates and like, you know, giving them just space to also not just like they're not just, you know, members of a digital team, but like they're people who are also seeing all this bad news all the time. Me too. And like, so I think just being really mindful of that is what I prioritize when I like consider, or when I think of like my job as a leader.
Yeah, that's amazing. I do think like it's really important that you learned earlier in your career what you don't want to see from leaders, and you're able to really reverse that in the way that you lead your team. Do you have advice for someone running for office for the first time, or maybe starting a new nonprofit?
Well, I think like fundraise early. That's for sure. Hit us up. That's another. And also like don't be afraid to be vulnerable and authentic, because that's how you could like stand out.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to fundraising and acquiring donors. Also, build your donor base early, because that's, you know, maybe the ROI isn't immediate, but the long-term ROI will like pay off tenfold. Just because of the fact that like you probably, I feel like building your donor base early like allows you to get your foot in the door earlier when like, you know, maybe other campaigns or other organizations may have hit those people first. So having that foundation is really important, especially going into like the height of the cycle.
Sure. If viewers are unsure of what Grayson just meant when she said long-term ROI, I urge you to go listen to Robin's podcast where she talks all about fundraising metrics.
Crossover.
Yes, shout out. Okay, do you have any 2026 election predictions?
I think honestly, if, you know, trajectory is if we stay on this trajectory, Democrats will probably have the House majority before the midterm elections.
Sure.
Or I think we could flip the House.
Yeah.
Senate, I don't know. I think there will be more conversations around super PAC spending for sure, because there's just so much going on with that.
Sure.
And, you know, maybe they'll finally ban super PACs, but
right.
I doubt they will.
We'll still talk about it.
Yeah. In primaries.
Right, sure. Okay, great. Well, I'm feeling hopeful about the possibility of flipping the House, so I hope it happens.
I hope so too.
Yeah. Cool. And then definitely continuing our hopeful energy into 2028. But yeah, can't wait to hear your content from now to then. So.
Oh, I will definitely be pushing out that content.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Stay tuned.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Grayson. This was awesome.
Thank you for having me.